What did your parents say to your first boyfriend that made him never call again? I was 16 when I met Ethan at the library. He was quiet, wore vintage band t-shirts, and actually listened when I talked about college. For 3 months, we'd study together after school, sharing earbuds and stolen glances. My stomach dropped every time he smiled. My parents had strict rules about dating. No boys until 18, no exceptions. So when Ethan asked me to homecoming, I knew I had to be strategic. Mom, there's a study group meeting Saturday night, I said over dinner. She nodded, distracted by her phone. That Saturday, Ethan picked me up 2 blocks away. We went to dinner, then the dance, and for 3 magical hours, I felt normal. The breaking point came when we got back. Ethan insisted on walking me to the door like a gentleman. My heart hammered as we approached the porch. All the lights were on. Dad opened the door before we could knock. "You must be the boy," he said, his voice eerily calm. Ethan straightened his shoulders. "Yes, sir. I'm Ethan. I brought your daughter home safely." Dad smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Come in, both of you." My stomach twisted. This wasn't the plan. In the living room, Mom sat like a judge. The coffee table was covered with papers, screenshots from social media, my texts, even a map showing every location my phone had been that night. "Ethan," Dad began, settling into his armchair. "Do you know what I do for a living?" "You're a private investigator, sir." "That's right. And do you know what I've discovered about you tonight?" Ethan's face went pale. "Sir?" Dad picked up the first paper. "Your parents divorced when you were 12. Your mother works 2 jobs. Your father hasn't paid child support in 3 years." He set it down. "Your grades dropped last semester. You were suspended for skipping, and you've been dating my daughter behind my back for months." I watched Ethan shrink into himself. Dad continued, "I also know that your older brother was arrested for drug possession. Your family has been evicted twice, and your mother filed for bankruptcy last year." "Dad, stop," I whispered. He ignored me. "Here's what's happening, son. You're walking out that door and never contacting my daughter again. Because if I see you near her, if I see you at her school, if you so much as look in her direction, I will destroy what's left of your family." Ethan stood frozen. "I know where your mother works. I know she's 1 paycheck from losing your apartment. I know your sister attends Jefferson Elementary. It would be a shame if Child Services received an anonymous tip about unsafe living conditions." That night, I watched the boy I loved walk away without saying goodbye. He transferred schools 2 weeks later. For months, I begged Dad to tell me how to reach Ethan, to explain, to apologize. "You'll thank me when you're older," he'd say. "That boy would have ruined your future." 3 years later, I found Ethan on social media. He'd graduated valedictorian and earned a full scholarship to MIT. I sent him a message explaining everything. He responded the same day. "I figured it out," he wrote. "Your dad called my mom the next morning, offered to help our financial problems if I stayed away. When I refused, he made those threats. But it worked out. I needed to focus on my family. Last month, I got engaged. When I told Dad about the engagement party, he offered to hire security. Just in case any unsavory characters try to crash," he said. I looked at him calmly. "Like the boy who's now in medical school? That kind of unsavory?" For the first time in years, Dad had nothing to say.